Yo, what up? It's Raphael with NBA Draft Junkies. Have a video for you today. I know I haven't been in front of the camera for a few weeks. I've been trying to crank out these scouting reports. And the reason I haven't been doing voiceovers is because the scouting reports and the voiceovers take a ridiculous amount of time. I've been trying to crank out as many videos as possible, but I do plan on getting back in front of the camera soon. But for this video, I had to get back in front of the camera because I have been doing some studying and I've been watching guys film for the second and third times. And I'm back to watching film on Alperen Sengun. Sengun is one of my favorite players in this draft. He's like this old school throwback, back to the basket center with phenomenal touch and feel. At 18 years old, he was the MVP of the Turkish league, which in my opinion is the second best domestic league in Europe. And we just don't see 18-year-olds dominate the competition like Sengun did. I had a chance to watch him play a couple years ago at the under-19s. I think it was the FIBA Under-19 World Championships. I thought he was good. Thought he had potential to be an NBA player, but I did not see him being the player he is today. But there are a lot of people that have some concerns or doubts about his game and his style of play and if it fits the modern day NBA. And so when I was trying to come up with some comparisons, I found myself making what I consider lazy comparisons. But the bigs that I was comparing him to were also foreign. So I felt like it was lazy to compare him to Nikola Jokic. There are some similarities there, but he's not the floor spacer and he's not the creative passer that Jokic is as of today. Another comparison I made was Jusuf Nurkic. I'm a Blazers fan. And again, there are a little bit of similarities there, but Sengun is more creative on the offensive end. So what I decided to do was do a little bit of research, and I heard that former Rockets general manager Daryl Morey used to make his scouts do cross-racial comparisons. If it was an Asian player that they were scouting, you could not compare him to another Asian player. If it was a white player, you couldn't compare him to another white player. I believe he wanted to have his scouts make comparisons of players from different ethnicities just to eliminate some of the biases. And you know, it happens today. Like, for example, one of the most, in my opinion, laziest comparisons, and I'll check myself, I've made it too, is everyone wants to compare Corey Kispert to Joe Harris. Yes, I admit there are some similarities there, but there are some black players that are shooters and specialists. Not every white player that is a good shooter that can shoot off the move is going to be Joe Harris. So with all that being said, my cross-racial comparison for Alperen Sengun is Al Jefferson, one of my favorite players to watch. And in this video, I'm just going to break down some comparisons of Sengun's game and Al Jefferson during the 2013-14 season, which was his best season in the NBA. I actually happened to be living in Charlotte at that time, and I was working with one of the Bobcats players. Seems like it was so long ago that they were called the Bobcats. So I went to probably 80% of Charlotte's home games that season. Great seats. So I had a chance to watch Big Al put in work up close and personal. So check this video out while I break down the similarities between Sengun and Al Jefferson. Now, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, like, hit the bell notification button. And also, I have some exciting news. And as of today, we are 1 week away from the NBA draft, or by the time you watch this, it may be after the draft or maybe a couple days away. But I will be doing a live NBA draft show with Chad Ford. Yes, me. I started this channel years ago and it's grown tremendously. I've been able to just kind of have a platform with my podcast on Locked On NBA Draft. And Chad Ford is, you know, some people call him the GOAT of the NBA big board, and he's definitely one of the pioneers in this whole draft space. So yes, me and Chad Ford will be doing a live NBA draft show. It's on the Locked On NBA Draft channel on YouTube. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this is kind of like a dream come true. One of the goals that I set for myself for this year was to be on somebody's TV station as an analyst, and here it is. So if you have goals, write it down. Work hard, and you never know when it can happen. It can happen on any day now. So I am a living example of that. But check out this video of Alperen Sengun and Al Jefferson. In my opinion, Alperen Sengun is easily the best low post scorer in this draft class. I mean, he has moves on top of moves on top of moves. along with great coordination, agility, and touch. This season, he averaged 19.2 points per game, 9.4 rebounds, while shooting 64.6% from the floor. Now again, let me remind you, he's only 18 years old and dominated a very respectable Turkish league. Now don't get me wrong, I like the current NBA. I am not one of these dudes that complains about the direction of the game and how much better the NBA was when players weren't shooting 7 or 8 threes per game. But if there was one thing I do miss about the old school NBA, I miss the back to the basket center. I miss watching guys like Al Jefferson. Big Al was never an all-star, but in my opinion, he never really got the credit or the respect that he deserved. But man, was he fun to watch. His combination of strength, footwork, and touch made him nearly unstoppable on the block. The left block, that is. It seems like 90% of his post touches came on the left block, where he had a go-to move and a counter move for every counter move. I do believe there are still skilled physical bruisers that can score on the block, but most struggle on the defensive end and can get exposed in the switch-heavy NBA. Only time will tell if Sengun will be a positive NBA defender, but this video is all about buckets on the block. Here are a few clips of Big Al from Turkey looking like Big Al from Mississippi. And this is a typical Big Al possession. Gets the ball on the block, of course, the left block, fakes baseline, spins back middle, shot fake, gets the defender off balance, leans in, and finishes with this weird flip shot that is a shot that only Big Al can make. Sengun and Jefferson both have good touch, finishing off the left shoulder, which sets up the baseline spin as the counter move. Or it could be the baseline spin as the first option and driving middle as the counter. You'll never know with these guys. But what I've noticed is both love to spin baseline going left and finishing with the inside hand. This goes against everything you're taught when learning the fundamentals of scoring in the post.
See a lot of jump shooting. Jefferson inside on Flash.
Καταφέρει να ανεβάσει τη διαφορά στους 11 πόντους. Sengun σε ένα solo, έρχεται το double tip.
As I mentioned earlier, Al Jefferson did most of his damage on the left block. Sengun is a little bit more balanced, with nearly 30% of his post possessions coming on the right block. He was actually more efficient on the right block than he was the left, which is rare for a right-handed player. It's not a perfect comparison, but I love how both Sengun and Jefferson use their wide-bodied frames to their advantage to get to their sweet spots in the paint. I know, athletic and vertical lob threats are the trend, and that's what's in right now. But I hope throwback centers make a comeback in the near future. And in Sengun's case, the very near future.